Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif congratulated Narendra Modi on his re-election as India's Prime Minister. Shehbaz shared his message on X, marking Pakistan's first official comment on Modi's victory. Modi was sworn in on Sunday, attended by leaders from Bangladesh, the Maldives, and Sri Lanka, but not China or Pakistan. Relations between India and Pakistan have deteriorated under Modi, especially after India revoked Kashmir's autonomy in 2019. Despite minimal relations, Shehbaz has expressed a desire to improve ties, though analysts see limited influence given Modi's campaign rhetoric. In economic news, the State Bank of Pakistan has reduced the interest rate by 150 basis points to 20.5%, following a drop in inflation to 11.8% in May. The SBP's Monetary Policy Committee noted the decline in inflation but warned of risks from upcoming budget measures and energy price changes. Real GDP growth stands at 2.4%, and foreign exchange reserves have risen to $9 billion. The government seeks an IMF extended fund facility to boost financial inflows. This rate cut was unexpected as most experts predicted a smaller reduction. Moving to legal developments, Islamabad High Court Justice Mohsin Akhtar Kayani has declared Kashmiri poet Ahmed Farhad an enforced disappearance missing person until he safely returns home. Farhad was allegedly abducted on May 15 and resurfaced on May 29 in police custody, facing charges of obstructing public servant duties. Justice Kayani directed the police to record Farhad's statement once home and called for combining similar cases of enforced disappearances to form a larger bench. Intelligence agency heads and officials are invited to the next Criminal Justice Committee meeting to address protecting citizens' rights and handling enforced disappearances legally. Some cases may be heard in camera to protect national security interests. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh has accused Israel of attempting to block ceasefire efforts as US Secretary of State Antony Blinken begins his trip to the Middle East. This follows allegations from the Palestinian group that Israel committed a complex war crime with its attack on the Nuseirat refugee camp, resulting in the deaths of at least 274 Palestinians, including 64 children. Hospitals in Gaza, crippled by months of Israeli attacks and blockades, are appealing for help as they struggle to treat patients. This comes with World Food Programme pausing its delivery of aid through a US-built pier due to safety concerns. In political developments, Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz has resigned from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's unity government. Gantz accused Netanyahu of failure in the war on Gaza and called for early elections. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 37,124 Palestinians and injured another 84,712 since October 7th. 90 states will attend a conference in Switzerland on June 15 to 16 to discuss sustainable peace in Ukraine, though Russia will not be present. Swiss President Wiola Amherd announced the event, which aims to agree on a path to end the war that began nearly 28 months ago when Russian forces invaded Ukraine. Russia was not invited as it had shown no interest in participating and has criticized Switzerland's neutrality due to its alignment with EU sanctions. The conference will involve representatives from countries and organizations, including the United Nations. Key attendees include French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and US Vice President Kamala Harris. While some key developing countries like Turkey and South Africa have not confirmed their attendance, India will participate, though the level of representation is unclear. Brazil and China have declined to attend without Russia's presence. Swiss Foreign Minister Ignacio Cassis emphasized that peace efforts cannot exclude Russia, suggesting future efforts to involve Moscow. The conference will cover nuclear security, humanitarian aid, food security, freedom of navigation, and prisoner of war issues. Switzerland plans to deploy up to 4,000 military personnel for security amid increased cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns.